You're about to fall asleep. Your muscles are loosening, your breath is slowing, the world is beginning to blur. And right then, your body hits you. A sudden jolt, sensation of falling. Like you were launched out of bed, your heart, your whole system, snapping into alarm mode within a few milliseconds. Yet all you were trying to do was sleep. This is not a sleep disorder. It's not a brain malfunction either. This is proof that the oldest survival code you carry is activating every single night. Because the real issue isn't the jolt itself, it's the biological war that creates it. Two separate brain systems are fighting for control of your body every single night. And sometimes, at the exact critical moment of transition, that war leaks out. That sudden flinch is the exact moment your brain loses control for just an instant while trying to protect you. And this mechanism is still protecting you today. Every night, within an average of 7 minutes, your body transitions from active consciousness into the first stage of sleep. For most people, those 7 minutes pass completely unnoticed. But biologically, this is one of the most dramatic transitions your body ever makes. In this first sleep stage, known as N1, brainwaves begin to slow, the eye muscles relax, and body temperature starts to drop. Your heart rate decreases by an average of 10 to 15 beats per minute. Your muscles lose tone, going slack on their own without any conscious control. This happens within seconds. And right at that point, something goes wrong. Your motor system hasn't fully accepted the handover yet. Your muscles are relaxing, your consciousness is fading, but one part of your nervous system is still generating awake signals. This conflict creates a sudden electrical surge, and that surge launches your muscles. Known as a hypnic jerk, this phenomenon is regularly experienced by 60 to 70% of the population. That means 7 out of every 10 people in your room will feel the same thing tonight. Some won't even notice. Most of the time, the jolt passes without pulling a person into full wakefulness. But the real question is, why does this jolt happen at all? The answer lies in two separate brain systems, trying to override each other at the exact moment of transition. The system that allows your body to enter sleep mode sent a signal. Let go. Relax. Sleep. But part of your motor cortex hadn't fully accepted that command yet. This brief mismatch, like a misfire, shows up as exactly that sudden flinch. This is not your weakness. This is the unavoidable byproduct of two separate biological systems, simultaneously trying to hold control of your body. You're not the only one who feels this. Write in the comments whether this jolt actually wakes you up. I have something else to tell you about it. Deep inside your brain, two separate systems are positioned directly opposite each other. Every night when you go to sleep, these two systems race against each other. The first is the reticular activating system, a structure in the brainstem that keeps your body alert and primed. This is the mechanism that keeps you upright from morning to night, your reflexes sharp, your muscles ready. The second is the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus, a structure in the anterior hypothalamus that initiates sleep and suppresses the reticular activating system. This is the one that hits the off switch. When it activates, it begins taking your body's systems offline one by one. Research shows that the transition between these two systems isn't linear. It happens more like an electrical race. During the first 10 minutes after sleep onset, the reticular activating system is still generating signals. While the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus tries to suppress them, the motor cortex sometimes gets caught right in the middle. And right at that moment, a misfire kicks in. Before fully transitioning into sleep paralysis, the motor cortex produces a sudden electrical burst. That burst sends an instantaneous contract command to your muscles. Your muscles receive the command, and you flinch. This happens within milliseconds. Before the brain can even say, wait, that's wrong. The body has already responded. Just like your leg kicks out reflexively when your kneecap is tapped, except this time, the trigger comes from the inside. So why did evolution choose this electrical chaos instead of a clean shutdown? The answer reaches back millions of years to the era when primates slept in trees. This jolt is not actually a mistake. It is one of the most sophisticated safety mechanisms your ancestors ever passed down to you. 5 million years ago, our ancestors were not sleeping on the ground. They were sleeping in trees, 10 to 15 meters above the ground, in spots chosen specifically to stay safe from predators. In that environment, the most critical survival skill was simple: don't fall while sleeping. Evolutionary biology researchers began examining this hypothesis in the 1980s. Today, this theory appears in primate sleep literature as the arboreal theory, and it aligns with a large portion of nervous system data. When the muscles relax during the sleep transition, the brain can momentarily misread that relaxation. Research shows that under certain conditions, the brain reads the sudden loss of muscle tone as a beginning to fall signal. The body's balance system activates and sends an emergency grab back on command to the motor cortex. And you flinch. But here's the striking part. This reflex is still running. You are no longer sleeping in a tree. You have a bed, a floor, a safe environment. But this part of your brain doesn't factor that in. The loss of muscle tone is a signal, and that signal triggers a response. When your body hits you tonight, you are living a protection reflex millions of years old. Not a mistake. Ancient software. Still active, still running. And under certain conditions, triggered far more frequently and far more forcefully. So how many times a week do you wake up from this jolt? Share that below. I'll give you a completely different angle on this mechanism. For our ancestors, the only trigger was sleeping in a tree. Today, the triggers are far more complex and far more common. Research shows that consuming caffeine within 6 hours before sleep reduces the rate at which the reticular activating system gets suppressed overnight by 20 to 40%. The shutdown race runs longer, the transition becomes more turbulent, and both the frequency and intensity of hypnic jerks increase. Blue light exposure hits a different end of this mechanism, because melanopsin receptors are sensitive to blue light. Every 30 minutes in front of a screen before bed delays melatonin production by an average of 45 minutes, widening the conflict window between the two systems. But the most powerful modern trigger is neither caffeine nor blue light. It's emotional stress. Cortisol is designed to keep the reticular activating system active. When you go to bed with elevated cortisol levels, the ventrolateral preoptic nucleus is forced to spend far more energy suppressing that activation than it normally would. This struggle shows up as more frequent, more intense jerks. Physical exhaustion makes this worse on the second and third nights of sleep deprivation. Hypnic jerk frequency increases by around 35%. Every time your body hits you, you are paying the biological bill for the stress you carried that day. The caffeine you consumed, and the light you were exposed to, this is not weakness. This is an extraordinarily sensitive response your body is giving to its environment. And you can change that response. It's not possible to eliminate these jerks entirely, and that shouldn't be the goal anyway. The hypnic jerk is a normal biological output of a healthy nervous system. But it is absolutely possible to change how frequently they occur, how intense they are, and how often they wake you up. The first variable, consistency in sleep timing. Going to sleep and waking at the same time every day shortens N1 transition time by an average of 40%, narrowing the conflict window directly. The second variable, strengthening transition signals. A warm shower taken 60 to 90 minutes before bed accelerates the body's cooling phase and smooths the sleep transition. Research shows this meaningfully reduces hypnic jerk frequency. The third variable, cortisol management in the evening. Every stimulus that activates the reticular activating system within 2 hours of sleep extends this battle. Heated arguments, adrenaline spiking content, high-intensity activity, all keep cortisol elevated. Slow breathing, low-intensity movement, a quiet environment activate the parasympathetic system instead. The fourth variable, your caffeine cutoff. Caffeine has an average half-life of 5 to 7 hours. A coffee at 2 in the afternoon is still in your system at 11 at night. Your body might hit you again tonight. But now you know what that jolt actually is. Tell me in the comments, which of these 4 are you going to try this week? I'm genuinely curious. Every time your body hits you at night, it's saying, I'm still here. I'm still watching over you. This jolt is not a malfunction. It's the same mechanism that kept your ancestors alive in trees millions of years ago, catching their muscles at the last second is still running. In your body, in your bed, your brainstem. Caffeine, stress, blue light trigger this ancient code more frequently, more forcefully. Consistent sleep timing, transition signals, and cortisol management soften this system not by silencing it, but by working with it. This was always biology. Nobody just explained it to you this way. Now you know. So what else about sleep makes you wonder what's actually happening inside you? Tell me the next video might start right there.